Today I will showcase Game Boy Advance SP. Ow, my finger. Sorry. It is quite small when you pull it down, but hang on. It's also kind of like DS, but hey, it's Game Boy. Game Boy came before DS, and DS came after Game Boy. And its Nintendo Switch came after Nintendo DS. Now, it has a similar control A, B, up, down, left, right, start, select, and buttons. But it also have these two, L and R, the on button, which I will go to showcase. And the value button. And of course, on one of the mini childhood game I play, Monster Truck Madness, for the Game Boy Advance. Which this game is also for PC. I didn't realize, not until I did check. I'm going to showcase the game. The game look like for Monster Truck Madness. First, let me turn it on. Now, those who don't know how the Game Boy or Game Boy Color or Game Boy Advance work, if you put the game card or game pack, whatever you're going to call it, it will automatically play the game. And this is one game I'm talking about. Monster Truck Madness. And I'll let you guys know Game Boy Advance also have a backward compatibility that you are allowed to play any of the Game Boy and Game Boy Color. But if you do play a regular Game Boy to the Game Boy Advance, it will showcase the color. But the pixels will remain the same as the both Game Boy and Game Boy Color. For Game Boy Advance, it has a lot of pixels. Now, let's see. Now I will go and showcase how it does the original Game Boy work on the Game Boy Advance. Let me just turn it off. And that's how to turn it off. Now I'm going to showcase the original Game Boy game. And this is one of the Game Boy / Game Boy Color known as Thunderhawk Post Sticker 2. Game Boy and Game Boy Color have this big size of a game card. Meanwhile, the Game Boy Advance have a smaller size. But it does connecting to the actual Game Boy Advance. And it's work. Hang on. See, but it's quite big, but hey, this have a Game Boy work on the Game Boy Advance. See? But the screen can be a bit small when you play Game Boy or Game Boy Color. But when you play Game Boy Color, the color will be the same. If you do play Game Boy on the Game Boy Advance, the color will be different compared for the Game Boy Advance. Now, be warned, if you place, be warned, put the game, be warned to how I does, you need to put the game card in and turn it on. If you want to put the game card off, turn the game off, and put the game card off the Game Boy. And yes, Game Boy Advance SP do need to charge. If you didn't know, there are the light. A light on top and it is charging. Right here, it can tell how long it will last. If you see red light, it is almost dead. Flash red is dead. But be warned. Be warned. If you don't see the eternal symbol when you play the Game Boy, or have a real picture like this, it does not work. You can fix it or play the Game Boy and to see how it like. About it, I'm not going to show you the blackness, how to use the blackness. Okay, now I'm going to show you the brightness. It has a small circle look like sun, and watch. It does change if you want to have a color, or just want to do like as a Game Boy. Now that is every information I got. Of course, there is also the original Game Boy Advance, but this is one of the childhood memory I do play that past years. Going to see you guys next time. Bye.